everyone, it's Erica from UTV, and this video is going to be a little different. So what I want to talk about on this video is my experiences and my opinions, I guess you could call them, moving from BlackBerry 10 to Android Nougat, or if you've been paying attention, from the Passport to the KEYone. So let's give a little backstory in case you're new to UTV or you're new to these videos. A couple years ago when I first started writing for UTV, I was cold dead hands girl when it came to BlackBerry 10, which means you have to pry my BlackBerry 10 device out of my cold dead hands. I was not going to switch to Android. It was not something I could conceivably see myself doing. So what changed? Well, the first thing that changed was BlackBerry. They transitioned from a hardware device company to a software company, very successfully, might I add. And in that transition, they stopped manufacturing devices. They licensed them out to partners like TCL, BlackBerry Mobile, and I realized that if I wanted to keep getting new BlackBerries, I'd have to adjust. And I was worried. I wasn't 100% sold on Android when I first heard that BlackBerry wouldn't be making BlackBerry 10 devices right now. They might in the future. We are still not sure about that. We will have to wait and see on that. But as good of a phone as my Passport is, after a few years, I need a fresh start. I need a new BlackBerry. That's just how it works best for me. I can't keep using the same device. Otherwise, I start to feel stagnant or old, like I'm not, as BlackBerry used to say, moving forward. So I realized I have to start considering the possibility. And I think what helped me make the transition is I leapfrogged over Lollipop and Marshmallow. I went straight to Nougat. I didn't have any of the problems that previous Android BlackBerry users had with like on the crib and things like that. I didn't have to deal with any of that. I didn't have any of that bad history in my background. I was able to just kind of leapfrog over that into a refined, secure BlackBerry device running Android OS. So the first thing that changed was BlackBerry, so I had to change with them if I wanted to stay current. The next thing that changed, obviously, was me adjusting to that new environment. And then the last thing that changed was the Android OS. It's not what you have with Nougat, and even what you have with Marshmallow, if you haven't made the move to Nougat yet. What you have is, like I said, a refined, secure OS. It is a very smooth, surprisingly efficient for Android, with all the negative buzz in the background that we've had over the years. BlackBerry has made amazing augments or adjustments or additions, whatever word you want to use to describe how they changed Android OS. They're incredible, between the integration of the hub, the productivity tab, the use of their actual keyboard software, whether it's a physical keyboard or a virtual keyboard. I see both on my KEYone, and it's nice to have that there. There are some amazing changes, and I will be honest, because I haven't done Lollipop and Marshmallow, I really don't know what is 100% brand new on Nougat and what is in there. So, and I still find things out like that from talking to the other UTV contributors. So it's been an adjustment for me, but it's been a positive one because the KEYone is so well, I don't want to say refined again, but it's matured. The BlackBerry Android experience has matured since it first started. And I think that's what I was waiting for, is that maturity. I've always been kind of that wait-and-see girl whenever it comes to getting a new phone. I want to make sure that it's going to have what I need. And I think what I need is to wait and see on Android OS. Now, let's dig into what I miss, because BlackBerry 10 is a very unique experience, and there are things that I miss. First off, the aesthetics. It's a beautiful OS, with the active windows on your home screen showing your current apps that you're using, the dynamic use of those windows, and then just the way that the hub looks. It does look different in Android Nougat, and I prefer BlackBerry 10's aesthetics. And I'm sure, let me just add this, I'm sure there's ways that you could change it, augment it, download apps to make it work more like BlackBerry 10, but I've never been much of an app person in that way. I like using the main apps, like social apps, and the ones that I need for work, and just general productivity apps, but I haven't downloaded anything extra to change the way that the actual Android UI works or functions. I haven't added anything new to it. It's still pretty much the same as it came from out of the box. I've downloaded some apps that, like I said, I use for social media or work, but I haven't done anything to change the base Android BlackBerry experience. So yeah, I miss the aesthetics. I do miss some of the file sharing integrations. I don't have a file sharing app. I'm working with what is there. I wanted to give myself plenty of time to work with that, to really understand how it works before I decide to download an app to make it work differently. So I did miss some of the file sharing integrations. It seemed a lot smoother and a lot more intuitive on BlackBerry 10. But those things aren't deal breakers for me. Those are things that I can adjust to or find a workaround for. What's most important to me is to have a continually updated phone, and a phone that I can trust will be updated with the most recent security updates. A phone that will work, a phone that will have the speed and the processing that I need to keep me from being slowed down on my daily life. If I need to send a message, I want to send it. I don't want to wait, a minute and a half for the app to open because everything is bogged down. And I don't have that with Android OS, at least not at this point. I mean, it may change in a few months. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see on that too. But for now, I'm incredibly happy, and it's been a very positive experience. One thing that I do enjoy about the Android experience on the BlackBerry phone is the apps. Having the Google Play Store, while I know that you have to be careful, that's why I don't download a lot of things that I don't recognize. It is nice to have those apps there and working the way that they're meant to work. And I know the BB10 people are going to yell at me and say, Android worked on BlackBerry 10. Yeah, it worked, as in worked. It worked sometimes, it worked kind of, depending on your phone and whatever workaround you decided to use, whether you downloaded someone else's apps to help make these apps work better, to get Google Play services and things like that. It was a lot of extra steps just to get to where I am out of the box with Android. And I know the trade-off is different. Like I said, there's things I miss. But the trade-off isn't a deal breaker for me. It's important for me to have those apps that I need there and reliable. than it is for me to have an OS that might look nicer or work slightly faster when it comes to multitasking. I do miss the multitasking aspect too, being able to do several things at once. But you know what? That just taught me to slow down and to take things one step at a time. And I can still multitask on my PC whenever I need to. So, like I said, it's not. I don't want to sound like I'm an apologist when it comes to Android. I understand that it's different, and I understand that there will always be things that I miss from BlackBerry 10, because, like I said, it's a unique experience. It was a one-of-a-kind thing, moving from the legacy devices to BlackBerry 10. It was like coming into the current time from another period, another history, and it stopped feeling that way. So I need, like I said, I need to keep moving forward and keep following BlackBerry. And I think that's the thing that I want to leave with you guys the most. These things are completely opinions. We have people at UTB that will argue with me left and right about everything that I've said today. And that's one thing that makes UTB great, is because we have contributors that will give you both sides of the argument. We're not going to be one-sided. We're not going to be biased. We're going to be honest with you. And one thing I want to leave you with before I say goodnight, and thank you for watching, I want to tell you that whether you decide to use BlackBerry 10 or whether you decide to use BlackBerry Android, it's still all BlackBerry. And the important thing is that we are supporting the brand that we love. We wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be reading UTB if you didn't love the brand, if you didn't support BlackBerry. And I think that that's the thing that I want you to take away, is it doesn't matter what phone you use. It doesn't matter what OS you're on. What matters is that you're supporting the brand. And for me, right now, supporting that brand means rocking my KEYone. I still carry my passport with me every day. I don't use it for much, mostly just for pictures. But, pictures of my KEYone. But I do have to have it with me. It's like my comfort for me. It was my trusty phone for a couple of years. And I still feel like it needs to be with me. Mostly to protect it from my kids. They have a habit of cracking the screens. But for now, the daily driver is absolutely 100% KEYone Android OS. And I'm not going to apologize for that. I'm not going to try to argue with anybody that makes comments about anything that I've said. This is what works for me. And if you have questions, I'll do my best to answer them. If you have comments, feel free to leave them. And thanks for watching.